Hi LEGO fans, it's Saturday the 22nd of December and the last weekend before Christmas. If you've not started Christmas shopping yet, now is a good time. If my calculations are correct, and they are, we only have 3 more days of advent calendar doors. Every day between now and Christmas we're opening up every door on every LEGO advent calendar, including LEGO City, LEGO Friends, and LEGO Star Wars. We're also going to be scoring each one of the gifts so we can find out which one has the best gift of the day, and ultimately which calendar is our festive favourite and which deserves to get coal in its stocking. For many of us, work and school has finished for Christmas, but I would like to spare a thought for our first responders who will be working throughout the Christmas season. These guys will be doing their duty keeping us safe and handing out traffic tickets. These guys deserve our admiration and respect, and to you first responders, I salute you. Happy Christmas. Recapping the 3 gifts we got yesterday, it was quite the day. I didn't think this was going to happen, but it actually got to the point with the LEGO City Advent Calendar that I had to award negative points. I deducted a point for this festive but frankly useless candy cane, street lamp, clock, wreath type thing. I'm still not sure what to call it. From the LEGO Friends Advent Calendar, it was same old same old. We got a pair of gift wrapped Christmas presents thinly disguised as Christmas tree decorations. Now these were a couple of steps above the ones we got from LEGO City, but they failed to spark my imagination, and as a result the LEGO Friends Advent Calendar only got 2 points. And by default that left 8 points for the LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar. To be fair, they tried really hard and gave us a micro scale build of a speeder bike. It was a nice little thing, and I like the use of the transparent cylinder to make it float. So with an unexpected windfall of points, the LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar is up in front with 77 points. LEGO Friends is second with 71, and looking increasingly desperate is the LEGO City Advent Calendar with 61 points. I've got to say, it's unlikely it's going to win, but sometimes these last few days throw in some amazing gifts. And as you saw yesterday, my scoring can be very unpredictable indeed. Before we open up some doors, I do have to address a minor problem with yesterday's scoring. I always allocate 10 points, and as a couple of you pointed out, -1 plus 2 plus 8 equals 9, not 10. The first comment to point this out came from Ross's Brick Productions, and as a reward I gave Ross the opportunity to award the extra point. Ross chose to award the extra point to LEGO Star Wars, which raises their total to 78 points. And just to be totally fair, I put a poll out on my community page asking which calendar you guys would vote for. 5% of you think LEGO Friends is going to win, 31% of you think LEGO City, and a massive 64% went for Star Wars. So good call, Ross. The last 3 days of Advent should deliver some very good gifts. So let's cut to the chase and see what we've got behind every door number 22 of every LEGO Advent Calendar today. The first door we're opening today is on the LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar. So let's see what's behind door number 22. We have... you know what? I'm really not sure what that is. We will figure it out and reveal all later in the video. Next we have door number 22 on the LEGO City Advent Calendar. Yesterday's gift, the candy cane street lamp clock wreath type thing, was a complete disaster. Hopefully LEGO City will redeem itself today as we open up door number 22. Maybe it's the robot. We've not seen that yet, that would be very cool. And indeed it is the robot! Spoiler alert! And finally it's time for door number 22 of the LEGO Friends Advent Calendar. Yesterday we got a couple of nice festive gifts, including a printed 1x2 tile, which is always nice to get inside a calendar. So as we approach the end of the LEGO Friends calendar, let's take a look behind door number 22. And today, I'm really not sure what that is. It's got some kind of heart on it. Maybe a microscope or something like that. We're gonna have to put this together and figure it out. So here are all 3 gifts that came from door number 22 on every LEGO Advent Calendar. And on the one day that LEGO City and LEGO Friends ditch the festive theming, Star Wars finally goes all out festive. Or at least I think it is. From the LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar we have a festive themed moisture evaporator. I kid you not. LEGO City gave us this cute little toy robot, and LEGO Friends completely lost their minds and gave us a microscope. I honestly think it's going to be another one of those days. We do of course have to award 10 points and not 9 points like yesterday, and that also means crowning one of these gifts a daily winner. But before we do that, let's take a closer look at each one of these gifts and figure out what the LEGO designers were thinking. Unless you're familiar with moisture farming on the desert planet of Tatooine, this thing probably needs a brief explanation. Casting your mind back to Star Wars Episode 4, you may remember that Luke Skywalker's Uncle Owen was a moisture farmer. Moisture evaporators just like this were devices used on moisture farms to collect water from a planet's air. In fact, Uncle Owen's reason for buying C-3PO was that he needed a droid that understood the binary language of moisture evaporators. And the rest, as they say, is history. This build certainly includes some festive colours, including 3 different shades of green. In fact, I didn't notice the clips are also green, so that makes 4 shades of green. These machines are usually a boring grey colour, but by transforming it using different shades of green, it looks a little bit like a Christmas tree. We even have a transparent yellow 1x1 stud at the top to make a star. But apart from using some festive colours, it's not really festive. Honestly, if I hadn't read the information on LEGO's website, I would not know this was a moisture evaporator. I mean, how obscure can you get? Next, from the LEGO City Advent Calendar, we've got the little robot dude who featured on the front of the box. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something about this robot that makes me smile. Down at the bottom we've got a couple of stubby little legs, and these are articulated so you can move them around. The arms are like little red pincers and are attached to the body using clips on each side. These can also be manipulated up and down if you wish. There's either a power or a steam pressure gauge prominently located on the front of the robot. And the head is a fairly simple 1x1 brick with studs on each side which make it look like he's got ears. But ultimately this is a toy wind-up robot, and I really like the key on the back of the body. You don't get these elements very often, but you do sometimes get them with the collectible minifigures. The thing I really do find confusing about this cute little build is the stack of dark grey and transparent blue studs. I really can't figure out what that's for. Apart from that weirdness, it's a really nice little thing. Speaking of nice things, look what just gate crashed the party. As this is clearly not a Christmas tree decoration, I have to conclude that it's one of the things that represents the 5 LEGO friends. You might remember that we've had things like the roller skate and the trophy, and today we've got a microscope. I did do a little bit of research and I believe this belongs to Olivia. In fact, you can see a microscope featured in Olivia's Inventor's Workshop, which is set number 3933. She also seems to have fun messing around with Wally for some reason. It's a perfectly good LEGO Friends themed model of a microscope, but I'm not sure it's a great thing to put inside an advent calendar. There's a platform at the bottom on which to mount slides for viewing. The black studs on top are presumably the places where you place your eyes. And you can see the lenses, which are represented by these clear transparent studs. The eyepiece assembly has a pivot point so you can adjust the angle of the lenses. And that's about it really. As a model of a microscope, it's perfectly acceptable. I just question whether it should be included in the LEGO Friends Advent Calendar. In my opinion, it would have been a lot better to have a mini doll of all of the LEGO Friends characters instead of some random gift that was meant to represent them. Would you agree? So there you have today's gifts. These were 3 very different things. It was great to see LEGO Star Wars go a little bit festive, even if they didn't quite pull it off. But I'm definitely not a big fan of the gifts that represent the LEGO Friends. In any case, we're here to award points, and award points we shall. 10 points are going to be distributed among these gifts, and a winner shall be crowned. So let's do it like this. Sometimes the quirkier builds from LEGO Star Wars can be really nice. I really enjoyed the Cloud City micro build, for example, but this is a little bit obscure for me. If you're going to transform something from the Star Wars universe into something festive, it's a good idea to go with something a little bit more recognisable than a moisture vaporator. This made me smile, but for all the wrong reasons. And after scoring an epic 9 points yesterday, the LEGO Star Wars calendar is getting 2 points today. The LEGO Friends Advent Calendar this year has a massive 500 elements, and you can really see that in today's gift. Thanks to our classic fireman, you can see that this is quite a tall piece. But ultimately this lacks festive appeal and it's a little bit obscure for my taste. I'm going to rank this alongside the LEGO Star Wars gift and give the LEGO Friends Advent Calendar 2 points. That means the LEGO City Advent Calendar wins the day with 6 points. I really like this robot from when I first saw it on the front of the box, and I wasn't disappointed when I got this little guy built. I also had some motivation for giving this a good score today. Mrs H made it clear she likes this little guy a lot, and when Mrs H tells you to give a gift a good score, you give a gift a good score. With today's scores added on, the LEGO City Advent Calendar is still out in last place with 67 points. With 73 points we've got the LEGO Friends Advent Calendar, and staying in first place with 80 points is the LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar. It looks like those guys voting in today's poll might just be onto something. With 2 more doors to open and 20 more points to award, any of these LEGO themes could win Calendar of the Year. But who do you want to win? And more importantly, did you agree with today's scoring? Are you Star Wars fans green with envy because I gave the Moisture Evaporator 2 points? Was the 2 points that I gave to the LEGO Friends Advent Calendar a snub to the scientific community? Or was I acting with too much autonomy when I gave the LEGO City Advent Calendar 6 points for this wind-up robot? It's always fun to hear what you guys thought of the gifts, so if there was one of these that you really liked, or if you disagree with today's scoring, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed today's video, you know what the thumbs up button's for. It's a really scary thought, but tomorrow is Sunday the 23rd of December. That's like Christmas Eve or something. Needless to say, I'll be back with door number 23 on every LEGO Advent Calendar. So have a smashing Saturday. I hope you managed to get all of those last minute Christmas chores done, and we'll see you bright and early on Sunday morning.